Hi, I'm Dan. Today, Eva's going to help me show you how to turn some pepperoni into some kid-sized calzones. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start getting our filling ready for the calzones. So I grabbed the pepperoni out of the cupboard, but we don't want to keep these whole in the filling. It mixes in with the cheese a lot better if you chop it up. So I'm going to get these chopped up. I'm going to chop up some basil, throw it in the bowl, and then we'll start adding all the different cheeses together.
And we have a lot of chopping.
A lot of chopping. And you have to sort of do this in batches because it gets a little bit difficult.
And we have some basil.
Got it.
We have some cheese. We have...
And that's mozzarella. And then we had some
mozzarella
leftover prosciutto that we crisped up, and we're going to throw that in too.
We have the spoon. You have the spoon to mix. And let me get the mozzarella and all that stuff. So here's some mozzarella.
And I'm just chopping this up into chunks. Really, it's just not trying to get fancy here. You just want to have it in a smaller pieces, again, so that it's easier for the cheese to mix in with it, and so that everything melts together, so that when you take your bite of your calzone, that you're getting a little bit of everything.
So Dad, isn't this the mozzarella?
That is some ricotta.
Ricotta. Okay, let me actually.
So we have mozzarella, Parmesan, and ricotta are our three cheeses.
Ricotta, and then we have one egg.
One egg.
This is like the most ingredients we've had all day.
Yeah, but it goes really quick.
Yes.
Once we get started.
On the pepperoni?
I'm actually almost done. So you've actually done a great job of talking us through everything.
Yes.
Because
I love talking.
I'm now done.
Chop.
Why don't you go ahead and set the knife down so that I can get the pepperonis.
Okay.
Thank you.
You may have the pepperonis.
Much appreciated.
Can we crack the egg next? Are we
no.
cracking the egg?
The egg is going to be last.
Okay.
So next, I'm going to chop up the basil.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in there with the pepperoni. And then we'll start adding our cheeses. We'll mix everything up, and then we'll finish it off with an egg. And that'll help bind everything together. So you can kind of see, just chop it up, rough chop. Don't have to make it fancy. All right, so now for the basil, just grab a fistful of stuff. So if you've got fresh basil, you know, it's really to taste. We like to have a lot of that fresh basil in there. I'm going to take this from you right now, sweetie. Thank you.
At least I cut some.
You did. You did cut some. Thank you.
I helped you. Should I put it in the bowl?
Yeah, put it in the bowl.
Okay. It's just a little bit of.
And I'm just going for like super thin ribbons is what I'm going for here. For the same reason that we chopped up the pepperoni, is I want it to be super fine so that it mixes in with the cheese and blends in, because you want to get a little bit in each bite. You don't want to get a mouthful of, okay, go ahead, of the basil. Good. And that's it for that. Take that last little bit. I'll clear this out of the way. Always clean up your workstation.
And what is our next ingredient, Dad?
All right, so next ingredient, let's do the mozzarella. So right there, we've got 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese. We're just gonna dump that right in.
It is
chopped up. I actually did not.
Chopped up, and there is a photo, but we did not use the type of cheese that was in the photo. It was kind of like a ball of cheese, but what we used was a
We actually used cheese sticks. So I didn't have shredded mozzarella. We did have a ball of mozzarella cheese, but in the interest of making use of everything that we have here during the quarantine, I took 4 cheese sticks and I just finally chopped those up.
cheese sticks.
Cheese sticks. We love cheese sticks in this house. So we have plenty.
I used to love eating cheese sticks.
Plenty of cheese sticks.
It was like the only thing I used to eat, and I always felt like throwing up because I always ate too much cheese sticks.
That's kind of a gross story.
I know, it hurt a lot.
Well,
Might not see your face, please. Okay.
Next, I'm going to add in some of this Parmesan.
I'm gonna mix it a little bit.
That sounds like a great idea.
Ooh, this is looking great when you mix it. Look at this, guys.
And so I want to do about the same amount of Parmesan as I did the mozzarella.
Looks like pizza.
So this bag is 6 ounces. I'm not going to weigh it out. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And we're going to do about 4 ounces of
Dad?
Of this.
Sometimes you say eyeball it, and I don't know what it means, but now I do.
Okay.
I know that it means to just go for it.
Just go for it.
Isn't that what it means? Just go for it. Just go ahead and do it.
And we've got a 15-ounce container of ricotta, which is a nice soft cheese that's going to help pull everything together and bind it together. You don't want to use too much of this because we don't want to have leakers,
Yes.
right? So we want to keep the filling as solid as possible. So I think we're only going to do maybe about a third of this, so about 5 ounces or so. And again, I'm not going to measure this out. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it.
Like I said,
Got my third right there. I'm just going to go for it.
Go for it.
And then
That's
Eve's going to do a good job of mixing that in. We'll add the prosciutto, and then we'll add the egg to finish off. I'm going to dump the prosciutto while you're stirring, okay?
Okay. Oh, that's like a beatish sound. Our filling is looking more disgusting at the minute. I don't like mix-up things sometimes, but this is probably going to be better than normal. So
Oh, you like to have ingredients separate, don't you?
Yes, I love
Yeah,
having,
separate on the plate.
I am very picky. I do not really like soup. I'm a picky eater. As a baby, I was not a picky eater, but now I am.
So you're a picky eater, but you love calzones, right?
Yes. And calzones are mixed up foods inside. And I also love empanadas too.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to give this a stir, okay?
Dad. I'm going to start cracking the egg a little bit.
Okay. And I'm just trying to break up the little chunks of the ricotta just to make sure that it's intermixing.
The egg is kind of opening.
Okay. So go ahead, crack it, and just dump that bad boy in there.
Okay. And
While she's cracking, you can see how everything's intermixing in there. You've got a lot of the basil, you've got a lot of the pepperoni mixed in with the cheese, and that's going to be awesome in every single bite. All right, just you got to go committed, sweet. How about this? How about you hit it on this edge?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Try not to get any shell in there.
No shell, no shell.
Okay, no shell? You still got the shell? Okay. Why don't you go put that shell, paper towel,
Paper towel.
and I'm just gonna
Eyeball it.
break up the egg with the spoon and just stir that in. And again, that's just gonna help bind things together, make things a little sturdier in there.
I'm just crunching up the egg in the paper towel.
Okay, yeah, once you get that in the garbage.
And I'm gonna wash my hands later because I'm gonna get my hands even more dirty.
Okay.
Wash my hands.
And that is our filling.
Yes.
So next step is we'll get the dough broken up, and then we'll start making our calzones.
You cannot see the dough.
No, the dough has been rising, and it looks beautiful right now.
It's in front of the camera. You cannot see it, but yeah.
So we're all ready right now to take our filling, put it into our dough balls, and form our kid-sized calzones. Eva is going to show you just how easy it is to do. So we're going to work side by side here. I'm going to break down the dough into individual dough balls, and then Eva is going to use this press, and she's going to flatten out a dough ball, put it into the press, scoop some filling into the press, close the press, and then take the calzone out, put it on the tray. Then we're going to throw that on the... Yes, sweetie.
Miss a step. What we're going to do before we close the calzone shipper, we have to put a a little bit of water on one side, and my dad is also gonna show how to braid your calzone.
Good point. Thanks, sweetie.
And now let's get started.
Let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this beautiful dough that's risen, and this is our pizza dough recipe that we've got in one of our other episodes. And I'm just gonna divide it up.
Or videos, not episodes. Okay. And you're gonna divide it up.
Dividing them up. So that's in quarters, and then I'm gonna try to get these
into eighths.
into quarters as well, but they actually might have to do thirds. We'll see.
Oh, Dad, that looks like a pizza slice.
Kind of does look like a pizza slice.
But then you cut it.
And you can see there's like this crust that's formed on top of the dough. When that folds into the dough,
And can you give
it's
me the
gonna
rolling pin?
add a lot of flavor to the crust. What's
Can I
sweet?
have the rolling pin?
Yeah, I should give you the rolling pin. I'll do thirds for these ones, and we'll see which one ends up better.
And since my dad did not make a perfect ball, I'm doing this. This is a good way to make a perfect ball. So, hey, you could be the cameraman. My brother's behind the camera. Okay, and I have that. Pass me the rolling pin, please. I'm gonna just roll.
you go.
roll.
We've got a little bit of flour here to dust your work area to help keep things from sticking. You have to roll out a little bit harder than that, sweetie.
I know.
Okay? And then turn it sideways because you don't want it to get longer than that.
And then,
And that's our dog Daisy
Okay.
barking in the background.
yes, we have a dog. We told you we have a cat. We told you we have many animals in our house.
Alright, so Eva's gonna put that in the press.
Hello.
Try to get it to line up.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. I'm gonna have to roll this part out a little.
Alright, how about this? How about I'll do the rolling?
Okay.
Um,
Roll this part out a little bit more.
Okay.
This part.
While I'm working on this, why don't you take this guy here, okay?
Okay. It's so cute.
And it's just like pizza dough, because it's a pizza dough recipe, so it's nice and stretchy. So if you don't quite roll it out
Perfect.
perfectly, you can pull it and make the edges fit onto the press.
And if you don't have a press, Dad, teach them how to make a braid.
I'll do that.
I need my stool.
Always good to have the stool.
And my forehead's out. Ignore that my forehead is out of the camera.
Like I said, all those little crusty pieces that were on the top of the dough ball, when you start to roll out these individual balls, they get incorporated in, and that's going to add a ton of flavor when these bake up.
And Dad,
And remember, you don't want to overfill these, sweetie.
know.
So it's about a spoonful.
spoonful.
So that's what you got right there on top is perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
And now we add the water. So you want to dip 2 fingers into the water and spread it on one side.
And I'm going to do the same. Fold mine over.
Dad, teach them the steps.
I'm going to teach them the steps.
But after you make your first one.
So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my edges here, and then take one corner, fold it over, and then keep folding it over using my middle finger, my forefinger, and my thumb to just keep rolling. And just roll that braid all the way around. And you can hear the dogs playing with the dog toys in the background. Just get any excess, just pinch that off, and you end up with a perfect braid. And that's a good seal. That's a really good seal. That's going to hold in all the filling there, and you shouldn't have a leaker. Sometimes if you overfill it, or if you don't get a good seal, it ends up leaking on the pizza stone. So as we get these done, we're lining them up on a baking sheet. But when it goes in the oven, we've got a pizza stone in there that's been preheating.
Extra.
And we'll throw these onto the pizza stone. How you looking there, sweetie?
It's breaking in the middle. It's breaking. Maybe I should just...
Yeah, and you have to be careful not to roll out the dough too thin. Otherwise, when you put it into the press and you try to close it up, it'll end up breaking. And then you'll have it could turn into a leaker in the middle instead of the edge when it goes into the oven.
Yes, and if there's a part where it's a leaker, maybe bend it. Doesn't have to be perfect, people. Doesn't have to be perfect. And this Monday is going to be my birthday, and today's Friday. So only 3 more days to my birthday. Yay.
I got a little bit extra.
This is so hard to take out of the press, or the shaper, or whatever you would like to call it.
Yeah, so one tip of the day, if you have one of these Pepperoni presses, I think this is just off Amazon. It's only maybe like $6 or $7, but it helps out a lot if you just dust it with a little bit of flour before you put the next piece of dough in.
Why didn't you tell me that the first time we
Well, sometimes you don't need it, sometimes you do. It depends on how sticky the dough is.
The dough is so sticky. Remember, you could have told me before we started even baking.
When you're ready, you've got 2 more pieces of dough there for you.
Okay. I know. I'm not blind. This is my first empanada, and look how bad it is. I mean calzone. They look exactly the same. Wait, I'm gonna retry that. So Dad, how do you do it again?
So you're going to start by just folding it over with your thumb. And first of all, make sure you want to have something to work with here. So you're going to squeeze it flat and press it together. And so that flat fin kind of looks like a stegosaurus now.
Okay.
That's what you're going to roll. So roll that guy over. Yep, pinch it. Yep. And then pick up the next spot and just twist and twist other way. Yeah. Yep. And then, so let me show you. So then you're going to grab the next spot, use this finger, and keep this finger underneath here. Okay, and you're just going to pinch, let me show you, pinch and twist.
Oh.
Pinch and twist.
Oh,
Pinch.
now I get it.
Okay.
Pinch and twist.
Pinch and twist.
Pinch and twist. Pinch and twist.
I guess that's the easiest way to explain it, right?
Pinch and twist.
Pinch and twist?
Yeah, pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. Pinch and twist.
Alright, so when you get to the end, I want you to show the camera.
Now I'm doing it right. Pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. I'm gonna get this out because it's excess. I don't need that.
Alright, I want you to show the camera.
It's
Show 'em how you did.
Thank you, Dad, so much. I finally
Other way.
got it.
way.
The other
There you
way.
go.
Okay, I finally.
That is really good.
I
You did really good,
finally
sweetie.
did it. Okay, it's finally braided perfectly, and it's really small. Okay, now I'm gonna make space for more empanadas.
So I think we've got enough here that we should throw them onto the pizza stone
Okay,
and get the first
no.
batch in the oven.
No, Dad.
No?
No, we can make more.
Well, the pizza stone isn't going to be able to hold anymore. So we can fill up the rest of these, but
No, Dad.
it's going to have to go in a second batch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. So, what we have so far is great. It is very
All right,
hot.
I need you. This is extremely hot.
Extremely hot.
Extremely hot. So the stone.
There is a very big beaker. Some of these are mine, and most of them are mine.
Pass me a
purple
plate.
ones are mine, by the way.